I heard there was this podcast, yo, about something funny like wrestling and so. And you really care about wrestling, don't you? There are drop kicks and leases all over the board, and then something called a wrestling hold. It's a super duper fun podcast about wrestling. That wrestling show. That wrestling show. That wrestling show. That wrestling show. Well, Fro and Bill and maybe a guest or two is here to hold your hand and guide you through a podcast about wrestling. We have a lot of extreme fun, and that's without the gun, because I needed something to rhyme fun with. That wrestling show, that wrestling show, that wrestling show, that wrestling show. Well, sit your behinds gently down and listen to our podcast sound, and try to guess this week's pro question. You win a lot of cool things, and also help Bill with his bills. That's a super duper fun competition. That wrestling show. 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 That wrestling show.
And welcome to That Wrestling Show, the only podcast where all pro wrestling matters. And Fro, I know our listeners are probably recovering from their Thanksgiving meal that they had on Thursday, but I hope they saved some extra room, because we have a plethora of wrestling topics to discuss this week on the show.
Gobble.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're one turkey that definitely survived Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So this week, we'll be reviewing NXT Takeover.
Yeah, can I tell you a funny story?
Oh, go right ahead.
I was watching a TV show. I don't remember, a YouTube show. Mm-hmm. And someone was talking about how they were vegetarians, mm-hmm. and what they were going to have for their vegetarian dinner. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, we're going to have stuffed mushrooms and pickled tomatoes. And I was like, I want food. I want real food. I want chicken. I want the pop. Turkey. So yeah, I feel sorry for vegetarians.
Yeah. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
Also, I'll be talking about Survivor Series. Fro's going to be more of listening.
What show?
Survivor Series.
Never heard of it.
Okay. Yeah, well, you're going to stay because you're going to have to listen to everything that happened during this show.
I actually know absolutely nothing about Survivor Series. I don't even know any results.
All right. Well, you're going to, when we get to that, you're going to be in for the most fun ride of your podcasting life.
Was it good?
Oh, it's gonna depend on the person that you ask. I'm gonna be completely honest. It depends on the person that you ask.
Aww.
Yeah. So, let's get into some small news because there are two stories that have made the round in the last week. One that actually developed when you and I were recording last week's show. And one that popped up yesterday, which I'm actually surprised is not being covered by a lot of other websites. But let's talk about the Mixed Match Challenge. Because, guess what, Fro? Our idea of this tournament has completely changed again.
Oh, no.
Because they did the round-robin format. Now we're going into the quarterfinals. There is a quarterfinals of this tournament. Because, honestly, I thought, Fro, they do the round-robin format and then the two teams, blah, 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 blah. Didn't go out the way I thought. So, if you remember our conversation last week, the winning team in the Mixed Match Challenge not only gets a paid vacation to anywhere in the world, but both individuals win the number 30 slot in the upcoming Royal Rumble this January. So, we have quarterfinal matches now, which I did not know because I don't watch Mixed Match Challenge. So, these are the matches. This is going to be Raw and going to be SmackDown. Raw will have Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox against Ember Moon and somebody. Because Braun Strowman is right now on the shelf. I'll get into that a little bit later on. So, as of right now, it's Ember Moon and question mark.
Okay.
The other match for Raw is Bayley and Finn Balor against Mickie James and Bobby Lashley. SmackDown has Charlotte Flair and Jeff Hardy against Carmella and R-Truth, and Asuka and The Miz against Naomi and Jimmy Uso. Of course, this will go over the next 2 weeks. The semifinals are on December 11th, with the final match taking place on December the 16th. At that point, I'm not really sure who's going to survive. I'm really not, because I think the injuries are starting to build up. You were talking about, a moment ago, a YouTube channel. Guess who launched their own YouTube channel today?
That is in the WWE?
He is not in the WWE.
Big Cass.
That's a good guess, but no.
Okay.
Talking about one of my absolute favorite people in the whole wide world, Jim Cornette.
Wow.
Jim Cornette has officially launched a YouTube channel as of today, and there's only one video up. It's just a welcome to his channel. As of this recording right now, over 500 views. So if you want to check out the fun that is Jim Cornette, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fun stuff there. But I love Jimmy. I really do. I don't care what people say about him, Fro, I have met the man. He was always awesome to me. His opinions may be differing from mine, but I respect the man. I like the man. I love the man.
Right.
I wish he was my dad. There, I said it.
Wow.
How do you feel about that statement?
Wow.
Yeah, you dumb motherfucker.
I like you. I like your dad.
Oh, my dad's awesome. Don't worry, folks. I wouldn't trade my dad for anything in the world.
Other than me, of course.
That's debatable.
What?
Anyway, Major League Wrestling news, Court Bauer tweeted out yesterday that he, quote, just closed a blockbuster deal. This was on his Twitter account last night. Major League Wrestling is closing out the year making history. No idea what that announcement is. Would you venture to take a guess what it could be?
No.
All right. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be like they're gonna move to like a major network. That's my guess. And we want to send a get well to another awesome individual, the one and the only Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who went to the hospital yesterday, as a matter of fact. He is currently hospitalized in intensive care in South Carolina. He posted on his Instagram account, which I think I'm going to follow after this episode, "Happy Thanksgiving from the Duggan family to yours. Dad is in ICU, but is in good spirits, and we are all doing good. We have a lot to be thankful for this year." And that's one of his daughters posted that under Hacksaw's Instagram account. So, and Jim's an awesome guy. I've met him. It is also reported that he hopes to be released this weekend. So, don't know what the medical condition is, but hopefully everything is all right. And Jim, I hope you get better. Stay strong, my man. Stay strong.
Yeah, we don't want to wish you well in your future in Denver.
No. You're too young. He's 64, for those that are curious. That's why I said he's too young. I need you to make it for like another 20 or 30 WrestleManias, dude. I really do. All right.
Forever young. I want to be forever young. Yes.
Seriously. Okay. Now, last week, while Fro and I were recording last week's episode, there was some interesting developing news going on. And it was about an individual who has been on WWE a little bit this year, but you've also seen him on Impact once or twice this year.
Oh.
And it is James Ellsworth.
Yes.
A young female, 16 years old, posted a video on her, I want to say it was like her Twitter account, talking about how James Ellsworth sent her pictures and videos of his penis. So remember, she's 16 years old. Remember that number. And there have been rumors for a while that a bunch of other women had gotten these pictures of James Ellsworth nude or, getting a dick pic. And, finally someone came forward and said, hey, this person's doing this. So what happened was, she had tweeted a while back to James, good luck on your match tonight. I don't remember if it was like a TV show or a live house show. So they followed each other on Twitter, and then James asked this young female if she had a Snapchat, which she gave him the Snapchat link. So, I was actually able to see a video that the young girl had posted, and there is one part where his penis is... There's a video of his penis, but it's blurred. It's censored out. So, because of this, James Ellsworth last weekend got kicked off of 2 wrestling shows because of this allegation. And also, because of this, he got kicked off of the WrestleCade event that's going on this weekend in North Carolina. That's their post-Thanksgiving wrestling convention. Now, this is where things get even more interesting, Fro. The young lady and her family wanted to press charges against James Ellsworth for doing
Okay,
this.
why?
Because of the sending nudes to an underage minor.
Oh, she's underage.
Yeah, she's 16. Yeah. But here's...
Did she send anything back?
No, she did not.
Good. Whew.
But here's the twist in all of this.
Okay.
Because of the state that she lives in Massachusetts, their legal age is 16. So because of that, they cannot press charges on James Ellsworth for sending those videos and pictures to an underage person. Because the legal age is 16 in Massachusetts. So, James got away with this one. But he's too dumb, I think, to realize that,
to realize that it's like,
you should...
Phew!
Yeah, like, you should stop. You should really learn to stop.
Aww.
So, the young girl and the family won't be able to press legal charges because of the age. Or the legalization of the age in Massachusetts. So, not good news there. I don't know if James Ellsworth's going to get work.
No.
If he does, I'll be surprised. I think this is a completely...
I don't feel bad for him, though.
No.
Like, he can thank himself.
Mm-hmm. And, honestly, this is a completely different story from the Enzo Amore situation from earlier this year. Because the woman we found out was lying.
Right.
This is a 16-year-old girl. And she was telling the truth. But yet, still, they won't be able to charge, because of the age. Because remember that episode of South Park? I think you were on that one. Where they did the sex ed class episode.
Right, I seem to remember that.
Okay. Do you remember the end of that episode where Chef says, or they ask Chef, what's the right age for a man and a woman to have sex for the first time? And he's like, 17. And then we find out that the legal age of Colorado is 17.
Ah! No.
Oh.
No. Oh. No, I don't remember that.
Oh. Well, it happened. Go back to one of our older episodes to hear that.
I trust it.
I know. I was telling our listeners to go back.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, on to this news story. Now, during the Survivor Series and Monday Night Raw this week, they were doing a hype video for someone from NXT that's going to be coming up to the main roster. Lars Sullivan.
Okay.
So, it's like, all right, let's see what he's got, because I think there is potential for him. I really do.
Well, I always liked him.
Well, over the last 24 hours...
When you start with, well,
exactly.
It's not good news. It's not good news at all. When you start with, well...
Over the last 24 hours, there have been some interesting things that Lars posted up on the internet many, many years ago that are now coming back and might be haunting him.
Jeez. What did he say?
Well, there's a lot.
Oh, no.
Yep. So let's begin our story. It begins 11 years ago when he was on a message board or forum for a website called bodybuilding.com.
Okay.
Do you want to check if that's still up real quick?
Sure.
Okay. So...
Bodybuilding.com?
Bodybuilding.com.
Okay, I'll check that out.
All right. Let's see if it's still existing.
Okay. Bodybuilding. Yeah, it's still up.
Okay, it's still up. Well, he used to be on their forum. And his username was disenfranchised. So, he gets into an argument with a person with the username Sweet Chin. Now, I'm reading this report from Ringside News.
Okay.
This argument started in July 2007. Lars Sullivan scolded Sweet Chin using profanities after cutting and pasting something from the Wrestling Observer newsletter on the board. Someone then asked how old MVP was at the time because he was the United States champion at that point in time. Sweet Chin wrote, "What is it with Vince hiring all these ex-criminals, MVP, Ron Killings, etc.?" To which Lars replied, "Now you're getting racist. Wow, just wow."
I mean, is it racist to put a point that's...
No, it's not.
I mean...
And this is 2007.
I mean, if it's right, it's right.
But you know what? I will say, Ron Killings and MVP, they paid their dues, so they're fine. I'm fine with them. Sweet Chin replied by revealing his own race and making a point that he wasn't making it about race. He was making his question about the simple fact that he came up with two options, and those just happened to be who he said first. "I'm not being racist." Now, this is what Sweet Chin said. "I'm not being racist, you idiotic Neanderthal. I'm black myself. Those were the two names that came to my head first who have been in prison." Sullivan replied back with this message. "Oh, you're black? Question mark. No wonder all you can do is copy and paste."
Oh, moral. What a fucking moral.
To which Sweet Chin replied,
"I'm
not even going to bother with you. You are pathetic. I wonder if anyone likes you in real life."
Wow.
Lars replied,
"This is building up to be one hell of a fight back and forth."
11 years in the making. We need to find this Sweet Chin person. Okay, so anyway, Lars replied back, "A lot of people like me in real life. I wonder the same about you. You come off as a whiny, cunty idiot.
Okay.
Sweet Chin said, in that case, you two sure aren't the odd couple, followed by Lars saying, I don't even know who you are. Leave me alone. People kind of ganged up against Lars after that, and he was banned from the board shortly after. So, that's the first one. Now we get into more fun. Okay? Because Lars Sullivan went on another tirade.
No.
But this was against a completely different person. This went against NFL quarterback Philip Rivers, who plays for the Chargers, formerly San Diego, now Los Angeles.
Okay.
He put his 2 cents on Philip Rivers. This is what he thinks of Philip Rivers. Quote, Philip Rivers, crybaby bitch, and is extremely gay. Most of California, especially Southern Cal, is gay. Fits well. Hell, Philip is a gay name in itself. I just want to say for the record,
Wow.
Philip Rivers is married and he has 10 kids, so I don't think he's gay. Just wanted to point that out.
Asshole.
Now, here comes his next thing that we found. This one is
This is getting worse and worse.
But is it getting funnier and funnier?
Yes.
Because he next goes, or at least or in the order of these being released, against KFC. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Here's what he wrote about KFC. Quote, KFC is for lower class people. You're making a wise choice by avoiding that piece of crap place.
Okay.
How dare you talk about KFC like that? KFC is awesome. So you'd think that would be it, right? But no, there's still more.
I'm so shocked.
Because in another message board, he wrote, I've been training at a wrestling school here in Denver for about a week now, and my trainer said he could see me in TNA within a year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, first week of training. He never made it to TNA. Now, here comes this next one. This one could be the bomb, I think. Because he talks about Stephanie McMahon.
Of course.
In a short video, or in a short message, Lars wrote, and I quote, talking about a video of Stephanie McMahon, very sexy. Thanks for the FAP vid. And this is referring to an interview that Stephanie McMahon did on the Howard Stern show. If you've never seen that video, she talks about having sex. But then there's one more thing. There's one more thing.
Do I want to know? Okay.
You sort of do, because this could be with his future co-worker, Bobby Lashley.
Oh.
Remember, these are all old posts. This is what he thought of Bobby Lashley. He's a horrible performer and clearly a steroid abuser.
Wow.
I can honestly say I hope he never comes back. Yeah. Lars, you were right there. You were on the cusp. And this is why, folks, and I'm going to be totally serious here with everyone. You have to be careful with whatever you post on the internet. It does not matter if it is a forum, a message board, social media, whatever. You have to be careful with what you say because someone can find it and can bring it right back up. Now,
it's pretty easy.
Now the question is, does he get brought up?
That's a good question.
Because WWE's going to find out at some point.
Right. I was thinking, how aware are they? And
right.
I guess they are aware enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be until they find out. And if they do find out, how are they going to handle with this?
Right.
Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, have you seen what is turning up to be the latest hit wrestling video going around?
Depends.
All right. I think I have to set this up for those who have not seen it. Over the weekend, or actually this week, it was this week as a matter of fact.
Okay.
In Mexico, there was an incident between two wrestlers, Cuervo and Angel o Demonio. Those are the wrestlers. They were having, at this event, a casket match. During the match, Demonio takes a cinder block and he throws it right at the back of Cuervo. And he knocks him out.
Ouch.
He picked up this cinder block, threw it, and it hits Cuervo in the back, and it knocks him out. I mean, dude, it was a straight shot to the back that just knocked him out. It was not a planned spot in the match. Meltzer has a little bit more detail. I'm gonna read this because I've seen the video and it's sick. It is real sick. As the story goes, there was a problem because Demonio does a lot of hardcore stuff in his matches, but Cuervo doesn't like doing it, so they went in with some issues. During the match, Cuervo hit Demonio harder than he liked with a couple of chair shots. 2 right before the brick throwing incident, and 7 in total up to that point in the match. Demonio took the 2 hard chair shots and really didn't sell them. Prior to the shots, Demonio had gone to the back and came out with a brick in his hands. Demonio, from the ring, threw the brick hard at Cuervo, who was on the floor and not looking. The brick hit Cuervo hard in the back of the head and knocked him out cold. The force of the impact broke the brick in 2. Now, fortunately, Cuervo was able to regain consciousness on the floor, but he was taken to the back. Demonio wanted to continue the match, but the doctors made him back off. Because it was a casket match, in absolute silliness, since the match was over, the referee told Demonio to go into the casket so they could end the match. Okay, I didn't know that part. Backstage, Cuervo went into convulsions. They called an ambulance, and the Red Cross also showed up. Cuervo had a huge gash, said to be 4 inches wide, and when he was taken away, he had no idea he had done a match that night.
Wow.
A Mexican sports newspaper, Ovaciones, said that the doctor at the show, Dr. Rafael Ugalde Rodriguez, refused to take Cuervo to the hospital and left the show early. Yep, Mexican doctors. Demonio then went on Facebook and said he was sorry to the fans that they couldn't finish their match, but those are the dangers of the office. Because of this, Demonio is temporarily suspended in Mexico for wrestling. Cuervo was diagnosed with a fractured skull, an epidural hematoma, and bleeding of the brain. On November 20th, they did successful surgery to remove a blood clot. There were 2 problems, both the risk of the surgery and also the money to pay for the surgery, since he's not a Mexican citizen. He is Puerto Rican. One hospital rejected treating him. LA Park and others helped to raise money for him, as did the promoters of the show. But even if the surgery is a success, there is no guarantee he will make a recovery to where he can wrestle again. Cuervo, at last word, remained in intensive care and is expected to be hospitalized for at least another week before being transferred to a rehab facility.
That's sad.
Yeah.
That is really sad.
It is. However, a benefit show was quickly arranged for November 22nd, which would have been yesterday, using a lot of local wrestlers to help raise money. And actually, you know what? I'm going to look for the video real quick so you can see the video that I'm talking about.
It looks like he hurt himself really, really, really bad.
Okay, so what you're going to get, Fro, and I don't know if you want to turn your volume down playing this or not. So you're going to get...
I will watch it after we have recorded.
Well, you might want to watch this real quick.
Okay.
Because you're going to get the shot. Just so you see it. Okay, so here's the guy bringing the brick.
Yep.
He gives it to the ref. Cuervo gives him a chair shot. Demonio doesn't quite sell. Second one, not as much. Cuervo tosses the chair back. Demonio picks up the brick. And boom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Look at that. That thing broke in 2.
That is awful.
It was...
And this wasn't planned, of course?
No. I don't believe it was planned.
Wow.
Now, here's the thing, though. And I'm just going to say this real quick. That could be considered attempted murder.
Yes.
That really could. And then the fact that the doctor did not have this guy go to the hospital. He could also be charged with murder if this guy ends up dying. Well, he probably won't because he eventually did go to the hospital. But still. Messed up.
Wow.
Just messed up. Alright. Things that are not messed up was this takeover.
Oh, such a good takeover!
Oh my god, I loved this show. This might be in the discussion for show of the year for me.
Oh, definitely. It has to be.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, for those of you who are new listeners for the first time, welcome. We're going to talk about each match. We're going to give a rating. And we're going to tell you what Meltzer thought of the match. And also those wonderful, esteemed, knowledgeable wrestling experts at CBS Sports and ESPN.
And when Bill says that, he says it with no irony at all in his voice.
Right. Because sometimes their rankings are a bit ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
So, we kick off with an impromptu match. Matt Riddle comes out, and he cuts a promo saying that they wanted me to face Ono Wednesday on NXT. Well, I'm not waiting. Let's have this match now. So Ono comes out. He says a couple words. Here's the match. The bell rings. Riddle hits a flying knee. 1, 2, 3. Matt Riddle wins.
Yeah, fast match.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was going to get more time. I was a little disappointed in how little time this got, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you agree or not.
I'll be honest. I did not give this a rating because it went
Right.
so quick. I think they're saving this up for down the road. I really do. So I did not give this a rating.
Okay. I would give it a C minus, maybe.
Okay, that's fair. Meltzer did not give this match a rating. CBS Sports gave it a D+, and ESPN did not give it a rating either.
Right.
So, now we go to our first quote-unquote official match of the night. Kairi Sane challenging Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's title, contested in a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Whoa, this was a good match.
This was good. I enjoyed this one.
This was so good.
First fall, you had good back and forth action, and then during the fall, Shayna Baszler's crew came out. Chauffeur and Duke. I can't remember their full names. I apologize. They interfere in the match, and Shayna gets that sleeper hold on Baszler or on Kairi to score the first fall.
Mm-hmm.
So we get into the second fall of the match, and Shayna's controlling it. Kairi makes a comeback. Duke and Schaefer try to get involved, but Kairi's able to fight them off. She hits an elbow drop onto Baszler. 1, 2, 3. Sane wins the second fall, evening it up at 1 apiece. Now we get to the third fall. Sane hits a series of spears on the Baszler, and then a power bomb, but can only get a 2 count. Then Schaefer and Duke get involved in the match again. Well, all of a sudden, here comes Dakota Kai. She tries to help out, but it's, still, the numbers game are coming in. Mm-hmm. Then, here comes Mae Young Classic finalist Io Shirai to even things up, and she hits a beautiful moonsault onto everyone, knocking everybody down. So now, it's like, okay, Sane's got the advantage now. The outside interference is gone. It's her and Baszler one-on-one. Sane goes for the elbow drop, somewhat hits it, but Baszler is able to reverse it into a crucifix pin to get the 3 count and the victory to hold on to the women's title.
Yeah, it was amazing. I just love this.
This was a really good match. Really. This might have been their best match.
Oh, their best match?
Their best
definitely.
match between the two.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah.
What grade would you give that match?
Oh, I gave this a B+.
I'm on the same boat with you. I gave this a B+ as well. Meltzer gave this 3 3/4 stars. CBS Sports also gave it a B+, and ESPN gave it a 4 out of 5. Then we go to this next match. And depending on how you feel, this might have been the match of the night. To me, I think this was the match of the night.
Yes.
Aleister
I
Black
agree.
versus Johnny Gargano.
Yep. For me, this was definitely the match of the night.
An amazing story was
Yeah.
told in this match. The storytelling was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It was like each one was trying to psych out the other one. They were trying to play mind games on each other. And they'd go to the outside. They were putting their bodies on the line in this match.
Mm-hmm.
It was absolutely fantastic. They had the fans by the balls in this match. It was incredible. I don't think words could really describe this match.
No, I totally agree with you.
You have
There's this match is a candidate for match of the year.
Oh, very
for
much
me.
so. I think this match and the next match are going to be candidates for match of the year.
Yeah.
But in the end, Aleister Black was able to get the win with the Black Mass. Incredible match. Go out of your way to see this match. I would want to see these two face each other again. That's how good they are. I gave this an A.
I gave this an A+.
Okay. Meltzer gave this 4 3/4 stars. CBS Sports gave it an A-, and ESPN rated this 4 3/4 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to the other match that people could say was the match of the night. The Velveteen...
I like this.
Oh, this match was great.
Yeah. And again, Patrick shows me that he's approving again.
Mm-hmm. Velveteen Dream challenging Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT title.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
This one is incredible. This match, to me, made Velveteen Dream into a believable contender for the NXT title. A believable champion could have been made right there that night.
This just it was just perfect. I can't say other than that.
Yeah.
Then I think it is one of those matches where everything fitted.
Yeah.
Everything was more or less perfect.
The interaction between the two was off the charts.
Right.
It was incredible.
Amazing.
At one point, they go over the announcer's table, and Ciampa gets pissed, and he throws a piece of paper at Mauro Ranallo, because I think Ranallo said something, and Ciampa was like, "Fuck you!"
Yeah.
But Velveteen Dream, he hits the Purple Rainmaker, almost wins the title, and then he tries for an elbow drop off the top with Ciampa on the apron. Ciampa moved out of the way. Velveteen Dream hits the floor in extreme pain, and then Ciampa hits a DDT on the steel beam in between the two rings, and that's enough for Ciampa to get the victory to keep his title. An amazing match.
How awful did that spot look? Oh. It was so good.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
I think in 1 year, I'm going to say it now, in 1 year, Velveteen Dream is going to be in that mix for Wrestler of the Year. I don't think it's this year, but next year, I think he's going to be in that mix.
Wouldn't surprise me.
What grade did you give this one?
A-.
I gave this an A. This was well done. Oh, Meltzer gave this 4 3/4 stars. CBS Sports gave it an A, and ESPN gave this 4 3/4 out of 5. Now to the main event of this show, which was the return of War Games.
And how did you think this fitted in case of like last year's?
Honestly, at the end, I thought it was better than last year's.
Okay, because I thought it was a little less explosive.
Mm-hmm.
To use that word?
Yeah, I agree with that.
And definitely a bit slower in the beginning.
Yeah. I thought at times, before we get into the match, I thought at times it was a little slow. I don't know if they purposely made it slow.
Yeah.
But there were times where it felt slow. But once it picked up, it just picked up. And they never, they never let the ball drop. So the match is Undisputed Era against Ricochet, Pete Dunne, and the War Raiders. So Adam Cole and Ricochet start the match. They're going to be the workhorses of the match. They're going to be in there the entire time in the War Games. So the 5-minute period goes up. Kyle O'Reilly comes out next. Then when the first 3-minute period ends, it looks like Dunne is going to go out. But Hanson pushes him out of the way, and Hanson comes in next. Then the rest of the order, Roderick Strong, Raymond Rowe, Bobby Fish, and I gotta say, I liked that Bobby Fish was the last guy to come out for Undisputed Era. Because what he does is he takes the other lock, and he locks Pete Dunne in his cage. And then he throws the key to that lock out. He throws it out. And then eventually Pete Dunne does come out. And then we get this brawl. I mean, the weapons come out. It's a little slow at times, but like I said, it does pick up. You get your table spots, you get your chair shots, you get everything. Ricochet does an incredible 630 from the top of the cage onto everybody in the ring. It just looked sick. And then Dunne and Ricochet hit a double team move onto Adam Cole to get the victory and to win the War Games for their team. Really good match. It was hard to follow up those previous two, though. I will say that. But it was still a good match. I gave this an A-.
I gave this a B.
Okay. All right, that's fair.
It's not a bad B, though.
Oh, no, not at all. A B is a good grade. Meltzer gave this 4 1/4 stars. CBS Sports gave this a C. Ooh, that may be a little bit low there.
Yeah.
And ESPN gave it a 4.5 out of 5.
Okay.
And that is the coverage for TakeOver. And real quick, on our Facebook group, everybody gave this show an A.
Yeah. I would give it an A.
Oh, yeah, I'm giving it an A right now. Favorite match from this event, according to our Facebook group, was Johnny Gargano against Aleister Black. Followed by Velveteen Dream and Tommaso Ciampa. And the War Games. And I think you and I both agreed that Gargano and Black was the best match.
Oh, definitely.
All right. And least favorite match, most people went with Riddle versus Ono, although that was only because it was a 6-second match. And then War Games got some votes.
Yeah. I can understand why.
Oh, yeah, I could too. I'm going to give it the Riddle and Ono just because I have to give it the one. But it's not because I didn't like it. It's just because one of them had to get a vote. So.
Yeah, and it was 6 seconds long. I mean,
Yeah.
I would vote for that as well.
But I think we're going to get a nice rivalry out of that.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
All right. So, Fro, now we get to the fun part.
Oh.
The show that you missed, Survivor Series.
Yes. Yeah. I know absolutely nothing about this.
Okay. Well, let me just tell you, it starts with the pre-show.
Okay.
Because we get a backstage segment in the
No.
Well, we get a bunch of backstage segments, but this one is important. Alexa Bliss is with her Raw Women's Survivor Series team, which consisted of Mickie James, Tamina, Nia Jax, Ruby Riott, and Natalya.
Right.
So Alexa gives a speech of, we got to stick together. We're a team. We got to beat SmackDown. Ruby makes a comment about Natalya and her dad's sunglasses because a couple weeks ago, Ruby broke Natalya's dad's sunglasses. Well, Natalya and Ruby start getting into a fight. And because of this fight, Fro, Alexa kicks both of them off the team.
Okay.
So we are now at a 4-on-3 situation.
Yeah.
Where we still don't know who the fifth member of the SmackDown women's team is. And Raw just kicked 2 of their own out.
Wow.
So then a little bit later on,
That's just stupid.
We get another backstage segment with the SmackDown women's team. We find out Naomi has been chosen to be the team captain, which, okay, makes sense, because Charlotte was probably going to be the team captain to begin with.
Right.
And Naomi announces the 5th member of the team. It is Mandy Rose.
Oh.
Who originally was upset that she was not selected on the team, but then ends up being on the team, and she's like, I hope that, we put our hard feelings behind us and that we just go out and win. It's Mandy Rose being Mandy Rose. So now we know the 5th member of the SmackDown team. We will get back to the Raw women's team in just a little bit because we have our kickoff match. And it is the 10-on-10 Survivor Series elimination match. This is the tag teams together. So, SmackDown consists of the Usos, they're the captains, New Day, Sanity, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, and for some reason, the Colognes. They face the Raw team, which consists of the team captains Chad Gable and Bobby Roode, the Revival, Lucha House Party, the Ascension, and the B Team. And I gotta give WWE credit for this, because you know how, Fro, during the kickoff matches, they'll go to a commercial break?
Right.
They did not go to a break one time.
Wow.
They stayed through the entire match.
That actually impresses me.
And it was a good match. It was good to watch. I think it would be too much for me to go through the eliminations in this match. The final 4 teams end up being for Raw, the Revival and Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. For SmackDown, the Usos and the New Day. We get a lot of good spots here. High flying, all over, on the floor. Even the Revival do a dive. Because, their catchphrase, no flips, just fists. Well, for this one night, they broke the rule, and it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, the team captains on Raw, Gable and Roode, are eliminated. which is very odd because team captains don't get eliminated until about the end, or you would think the end. So the Revival then come and they eliminate the New Day. So we're now down to the Revival against the Usos. And they have a good back and forth series. But in the end, the Usos hit the dive off the top rope. 1, 2, 3. The Usos are the survivors of the match. And most importantly, SmackDown wins the first match in the Survivor Series. So,
I'm glad to hear that because they had the best team.
So, Fro, I want you to remember, SmackDown won this first match.
Okay.
For the rest of the show that I'm going to be talking about. You did not give a grade because you didn't watch the show. I gave this a B-. This was a very enjoyable match.
I could guess again.
We'll do a
grade,
guessing
but
game. Yeah, we'll do a guessing game. Alright, so I gave it a B-. Meltzer gave it 3.5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
CBS Sports gave it a B. And ESPN did not give a rating for this match.
Okay.
Now, remember earlier when I talked about how the Raw team, the women's team, they kicked 2 members off?
Yeah.
Well, Alexa found 2 new members of the team.
Oh.
Sasha Banks and Bayley.
Oh.
Because, last week they fought for that last spot and the team beat them up and the match became a no contest.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense. So now we have our teams. So we go through the intro. We have the Survivor Series. Opening match is the Women's Survivor Series elimination match.
Okay.
Nia gets booed out of the building.
Oh.
Because she broke Becky's nose from last week. And these fans, they were like, at the Coliseum, they were like, kill her. They just hated Nia for what she did. Just hated her. Okay, so to remind everyone, the Raw team is now Bayley, Sasha Banks, Nia Jax, Tamina, and Mickie James. SmackDown is Carmella, Naomi, Asuka, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville. So we get into the match, and very quickly, Naomi, the team captain, is eliminated first. Tamina pins Naomi in the first 1.5 of the match.
Wow.
So much for Naomi being an effective team captain there.
Yeah.
But SmackDown was able to rebound immediately because Carmella got a schoolboy, or I guess in this case, a schoolgirl on Tamina. Tamina is eliminated. So we then have 4-on-4. So we're at 4-on-4. They battle for a little bit. Then Sonya Deville and Mickie James are in the ring. Sonya hits a spear on Mickie, but Mandy Rose blind tagged in. So Mandy pins Mickie James, and Mickie is out of the match. So SmackDown has a 4-on-3 advantage. Then, a little bit after, Bayley comes in. She hits a belly-to-belly on Carmella. Carmella is eliminated. So, now we're at a 3-on-3 situation. So, we're tied up. Then, not too long after, Sasha Banks gets the bank statement on Mandy Rose. Rose taps out. She's out. So, it's 3... So it's 3 against 2 in favor of Raw. Then, Sonya and Bayley, they're fighting each other. They end up fighting on the outside. Both women get counted out. A rare Survivor Series spot. So Sonya Deville and Bayley, they're both eliminated. It is now a 2-on-1 situation. It is Sasha Banks and Nia Jax against Asuka. Asuka and Sasha Banks, they have a good interaction. Sasha goes to the top rope to try to hit a move on Asuka. Nia Jax pushes her partner off the top rope. Asuka puts in the Asuka lock. Sasha taps out. She's eliminated. It's down to 1-on-1. Nia comes in. She hits a couple of leg drops. 1, 2, 3. Nia Jax is the sole survivor of this match. So, what grade do you think I gave this match?
It sounds like a good match. I'm going to guess a B+.
I actually gave it a C+.
Ah.
It was a little... I felt the eliminations in the beginning were a little bit too quick, but I think once they settled in, it got really good. And Monday Night Raw is up 1-0. I know, you're confused, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
What?
I got to get into this. Because Corey Graves reminds the commentators, oh, don't forget, SmackDown won the kickoff match.
Yeah.
Well, but on the board it says 1-0 Raw.
Okay.
Just remember that for later.
That's really, really weird.
Meltzer gave this 2 3/4 stars. CBS Sports gave it a B-. ESPN gave it 2 1/4 out of 5. Next match. Champion versus champion. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Seth Rollins.
I'm going to guess this was really good.
It was. It had a bit of a slow beginning, but it really picks up. A good match. You get a lot of near falls. Pardon me. Excuse me. Breakfast is coming up. So it's a good match. They each hit their finishing moves. Can't really quite put the other away. And then finally, Seth Rollins was able to hit the curb stomp on Nakamura to get the victory. 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins wins. So, what grade do you think I gave this match?
I'm going to guess B.
I did give it a B. Very good, Fro.
Ooh.
And it is now 2-0 Raw. Yes, that's exactly what you heard, Fro. 2-0 Raw. Not 2-1, 2-0.
Still really weird.
Yes, and it's going to get weirder. Meltzer gave this 3 3/4 stars. CBS Sports gave it a B+. ESPN gave it 3 1/4 out of 5. After we get a backstage segment with the Raw team, the men's team, we have our next match. It is the battle of the tag team champions, Cesaro and Sheamus versus the Authors of Pain. And oh look, Enzo Amore's in the crowd trying to take the show over.
Really?
Yep, he was there.
Oh.
And he got kicked out of the building immediately.
I wonder why.
Well, apparently he was there to hype his concert, which happened the next night, and got a very low turnout.
Aww.
And Vince was pretty pissed that Enzo was able to do that, so. This was a sloppy match. This was a sloppy match. And let me tell you how this match ends, Fro.
Okay.
Drake Maverick, who's the manager of the Authors of Pain, he gets chased around. Big Show catches him, puts him on the apron, and Drake pees in his pants.
No.
Yeah. And it wasn't even a big pee. It was a little stain.
That's stupid.
Oh, Fro, it was terrible.
Ugh.
So then the Authors of Pain are able to hit their double team finishing move. Authors of Pain win the match.
Because of peeing.
Basically.
Mm.
And it becomes a joke
Were they
next night on Raw.
Euro peeing?
Yeah. So, what grade do you think
I'm going to guess a low score. C minus?
2 for 2, my man.
Hey.
It was a C minus for me. And it's now 3-0 Raw over SmackDown.
Let me guess, they're not going to correct it and Raw wins all of the matches?
I can't tell you.
No, I'm just going to guess.
Okay. Meltzer gave this 1 3/4 stars.
Mm-hmm.
CBS gave it a D+.
Ooh.
ESPN gave it 1 3/4 out of 5.
Mm.
Now, we go to our only non-Raw SmackDown match of the Survivor Series. Mustafa Ali challenging Buddy Murphy for the Cruiserweight title. Match quality-wise, this is where the show changes, in my opinion.
Okay.
Match quality-wise, this is a very good match.
Okay.
Good back and forth action, told a great story. You could believe that Mustafa Ali could win the title, which it looked like on a number of occasions. It looked like he could. In the end,
I'm glad to hear that though.
yeah. In the end, Buddy Murphy was able to hit his finishing move, Murphy's Law, and he was able to retain the Cruiserweight title. Really good match. I'm actually happy to see the Cruiserweight title on a main pay-per-view. I would like to see more of this in the near future.
Right.
So what grade do you think I gave this match?
It sounds like a good match. B+.
Very close. I gave it a B.
Oh, okay.
I think if it had gone a little bit longer, maybe I would have given it a B+. I don't know. Meltzer gave this 4 stars, which I actually agree with. That was a very good match. CBS Sports gave this an A-, and ESPN... that's a high grade.
That's a high grade, yeah.
And ESPN gave it a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Okay, so now for the rest of the night, the remaining matches are Raw versus SmackDown. So, if you're keeping track on the WWE scoreboard, it is 3-0 Raw in favor of SmackDown. Which means the best SmackDown can do is tie. However, if you're like Fro and I, and you live in the real world, it's 3-1. And SmackDown can still come from behind and win this. So the next match is the 5-on-5 men's Survivor Series elimination match. Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler, and Finn Balor against Samoa Joe, The Miz, Shane McMahon, Jeff Hardy, and Rey Mysterio. So before the match begins, Braun and Drew have an argument about who's going to start the match. Braun initially starts the match, but Drew tags himself in. So Joe is in the ring. Joe and Drew go at it for a few seconds. Then Drew hits the Claymore kick. Samoa Joe is out within less than a minute.
Aww.
So now it is 5-on-4 in favor of Team Raw. And there's still some, dysfunction within that team, even though they're up 1 man. Now, like I said, this is where the match quality gets better. I didn't say the booking got better. So we have this fight. It's really good. They do Shane jumping off the top rope, dropping an elbow through the table onto Braun Strowman. So Braun's out for a bit. Eventually, SmackDown is able to get a pin on Raw on Finn Balor. Finn Balor's eliminated. After that, Drew is upset. He attacks Finn Balor. So, because they're still a team. So we have a 4-on-4 situation. So now the battle continues. Shane is beat up at this point. Miz tags Shane in. Shane hits the coast to coast onto Dolph Ziggler. 1, 2, 3, Ziggler's out. And hey, SmackDown's got a 4-on-3 advantage here. There could be something going on here. We may have something. And then Miz asks Shane to do another coast to coast onto, I believe it was Lashley. And Shane is going to do it again. Meanwhile, as he is like halfway through, Braun comes back and clotheslines Shane, knocks him out. Then this becomes the Braun Strowman show. Braun Strowman picks up Jeff Hardy, power slams him, 1, 2, 3, Hardy's gone. Mysterio gives it a try. Mysterio gets picked up, body slam, 1, 2, 3, Mysterio's gone. Miz gets caught, Strowman grabs him, body slam, 1, 2, 3, Miz is gone. So in a matter of 2 minutes, we have gone from a 4-on-3 SmackDown advantage to a 3-on-1 Raw advantage. Shane McMahon is the last man standing. And he's out of it. He is dead tired. And it's Lashley, it's McIntyre, it's Strowman. And there's really not much. Braun hits a power slam on Shane. 1, 2, 3. Team Raw wins the match. Strowman, Lashley, and McIntyre are the survivors of the match. After the match, Baron Corbin attacks Braun Strowman from behind. Because Braun made a deal to Stephanie that he would not touch would not touch Baron Corbin until after the Survivor Series. So, we're now at 4-0 Raw. Raw has basically won. There's no way SmackDown can catch it. What grade did you think I gave this match?
It sounds like a really good match. B?
I gave this a B+.
Oh, okay.
Meltzer gave this 3 3/4. CBS Sports gave it a B-. ESPN gave it a 4 out of 5. So now we go to... Oh, no, real quick. There was a backstage segment with Seth. He finds out that he is going to defend the Intercontinental title against Dean Ambrose at TLC, which should actually be a pretty good match.
Sounds like it.
Now, we go to the women's match. Charlotte Flair against Ronda Rousey. This was supposed to be Becky. Remember that. This crowd is into this match the entire time. And it is a fantastic match. It is a very good, very well done match for basically 5 days' notice. To me, this match went better than it should have gone for 5 days' notice. During the match, Charlotte back elbows Rousey in the face. Rousey is busted open. She is busted open from the lip. But these two keep going at it. They are fighting. They are putting on a hell of a match. Then we get to the ending. Charlotte goes to the outside. Rousey, because Rousey's got this, the adrenaline is going. She goes to the outside. She's about to get Charlotte. Charlotte hits Rousey with a kendo stick. Referee calls for the bell. And Charlotte starts beating the ever-loving daylights out of Ronda with the kendo stick. And this crowd is going crazy. This is the first time that I have seen anti-Ronda Rousey the entire time since she's been here. And Charlotte is just beating the crap out of her. And she's not giving a damn. She pushes referees down. She even punched a referee or two. And then she grabs a chair. And she puts it around the throat of Ronda Rousey.
Wow.
And at first, Charlotte's gonna, she's gonna walk away. But then she comes back and she stomps on that chair. And Ronda is selling that like $1 million. And the fans are going crazy. And they're chanting, "Thank you, Charlotte." And it's just an incredible sight. Because basically Charlotte just snapped. It was the right time, the right place. And Ronda just happened to be the right person for that to happen. So Ronda wins by disqualification, which means SmackDown has another win. It's 5-0 Raw, according to WWE. I loved this match. Loved it. What grade do you think I gave this?
An A.
I gave this a B+.
Oh, okay.
But it was almost an A-. Almost. Meltzer gave this 4.25 star. CBS Sports gave it an A-, and ESPN gave it 4.5 out of 5. And now we go to the main event of this pay-per-view. So, it's Brock Lesnar and Daniel Bryan. So pretty much...
I'm going to make a bold prediction and say this was a really bad match.
Well, let's set the stage. Raw has pretty much won the team competition. They've pretty much won it.
Right.
Daniel Bryan's out there acting very differently because, of what happened on Tuesday, the low blow to AJ and the way he won the title. So Daniel starts the match taunting Brock. He does some skipping around here and there, does a little dancing, gets chased around a little bit. Then Brock catches him, and he pummels the daylights out of Daniel Bryan. It was either the first or second suplex that Brock gave to Daniel. I thought Daniel died. I legitimately thought he died. The way he landed, he looked unconscious. He looked like he could not continue the match. So, Brock's dominating, and as he picks Daniel up to hit the F5, he's like, "Good night, everybody!" So he hits the F5. 1, 2, Daniel kicks out. Daniel kicked out. So, Brock then tries another F5, and as Brock hits the F5, Daniel's legs accidentally hit the referee. So the referee is out. Daniel kicks Brock low for a low blow, hits the running knee. This gets the crowd right back into this match. The pin, 1, 2, Brock kicks out. But then Daniel is able to put series of offensive moves on the Brock Lesnar. And it gets good. It gets good. Daniel is doing everything he possibly can to win this match. He's doing everything possible he can. And Brock, and you and I were not fans of Brock, but the way he sold, the way he was acting in this match was fantastic. And it was like, oh my God, Daniel's gonna, there's a legit chance Daniel's gonna win it, because at one point he gets the yes lock onto Brock, and it's like, oh, maybe, and then Brock is able to hit another F5, and Lesnar wins the match. But I think the most important story told here is that Daniel Bryan was able to hang with Brock Lesnar, who pretty much could kill anybody at any time, and gave maybe Brock's best match of the year.
But that's maybe most because of Daniel Bryan, I'm guessing.
Maybe. Because Daniel sold like $1 million. He came back. It was a really good story that was told. Really good. All right, so what grade do you think I gave this match?
A B-.
I gave it a B+.
Okay.
Meltzer gave this 4.25 stars. CBS Sports gave this an A. ESPN gave it a 4 out of 5. All right, now, while watching this show, Fro, and this is something I've never said before while watching a pay-per-view, I felt depressed watching it. Not because of the...
Why is that?
Well, I'm going to tell you. Not because of the matches, but the way things were booked. So, like, okay, I was fine with the women's tag match. I was fine with that. I was fine with Seth going over Nakamura. I was fine with that. It was from the tag title match towards just about the end is where I had my problem. The AOP had no reason whatsoever to beat Sheamus and Cesaro. None whatsoever. They should not have won that match. Team Raw in the men's match should not have won with 3 members left. If it was 2 or 1, I would have been fine. But not 3. Rousey I was fine with. Lesnar I just expected to win. And the fact that even though Corey Graves on multiple occasions during the show kept mentioning SmackDown won on the pre-show, by the way, the announcers are like, F you, that doesn't count. So, if you want to go by WWE logic, the final score was Raw 6, SmackDown 0. That is how they're booking it.
I don't like that.
No. And this is the other thing that made me mad. Who got the $1 billion deal for Fox? Which show is going to Fox next year?
Hey, it's SmackDown.
Why are they the ones to lose every match?
Yeah.
They're not supposed to lose every match.
Yeah, no, it makes no sense.
5 years, $1 billion, and they lose every freaking match on the show.
Yeah. It makes absolutely no sense.
The only way that what happened here is justified is if SmackDown sweeps them next year.
Right. If
they do that, I would be fine with it. But guess what? They're not going to do it. They're just not going to do it. That's what made me the most upset, bro. Was not the matches.
Aww.
The matches were good.
Right.
The booking was ridiculous. It was stupid. How many times have we said, Fro, in the last year, it's not their fault, referring to the wrestlers.
Right, it's the booking. Yeah.
It's the damn booking. And I'm trying to keep myself, from going off and saying, words that I shouldn't say.
Yeah, no, we said it so many times. It's not even funny. That's how many times we said it.
Like, okay, here's my thing. I was fine with the Charlotte Ronda match. I was fine with how it ended. I was fine with that. Brock winning, I can live with that. It was everything else that pissed me off. Everything else. You couldn't even allow the one guy, Corey Graves, who's doing his job and saying, "Oh, by the way, SmackDown won a match."
Mm-hmm.
We all saw it. We all saw it. I don't care if it's the kickoff. We all saw it. They won a match.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really stupid.
If it wasn't for the way the matches went, I'd give this pay-per-view an F based on the booking. But I'm going to give it a D. Just on the booking. And
That's saying something.
Most of our Facebook group gave the show a C, which, okay, I'm fine. I can accept that.
Mm-hmm.
With my vote, 2 people gave it a D, 1 person gave it a B, 1 person gave it an F. And that 1 person who gave it an F, Amit, I'm going to say his quote, worst Survivor Series ever. If you're going by booking, yes, that was the worst Survivor Series I've ever seen. 6-0. Give me a freaking break.
Yeah, no, it's weird that they booked themselves in such a corner.
Oh, and just to update, to tell you, Fro, what happened with Braun the next night. They did an angle where Baron, I keep saying Braun, but it's Baron. Baron injured Braun's arm. But Braun, in real life, needs elbow surgery because he's got the little elbow nuggets. So his timetable to come back, we don't know. Because if he is able to come back, it would be for the TLC pay-per-view where he faces Baron Corbin in a TLC match. Alright, real quick. Our Facebook group, favorite match of the Survivor Series, most people went with Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey, followed by Mustafa Ali and Buddy Murphy, and Seth Rollins and Shinsuke. I have to agree with the majority. Charlotte and Ronda was really, really good. It was. Least favorite, the majority went with the tag champions match, followed by Daniel and Brock, and Mustafa and Buddy. I'm going the tag title match as well. Oh, my God.
Oh. Aww.
I mean, just be thankful you did not. Be thankful you did not watch that show, because you'd be as pissed as I was.
There's a reason why I didn't watch it.
Exactly. However, Fro, and this is our last story, then we're going to get going for the week. There may be a light at the end of the road for wrestling fans.
Okay.
There are reports right now that the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, Brandy Rhodes, and Hangman Page, members of the Elite, could be starting their own wrestling promotion. And they're being helped financially by one of the co-owners of the Jacksonville Jaguars football team. And this is what they have trademarked. All Elite Wrestling, AEW, All Out, Double or Nothing, AEW Double or Nothing, and Tuesday Night Dynamite. So if they are to run a wrestling promotion, it is going to be more than likely All Elite Wrestling. According to Meltzer, Double or Nothing was known to be the name of the second All In show, an idea for a show on a holiday weekend in the second quarter of 2019 in Vegas. The show is not confirmed by any means, but it is an idea, and that was the name of it. Two names that have been brought in, or at least have been mentioned, but we can't really confirm or deny. Chris Jericho and Jim Ross may or may not be a part of this. We don't know. So, from the way I'm looking at this, because we said last week Cody's going to be done with Ring of Honor soon. I would think the Bucks and Paige are going to follow lead, and they're going to probably leave Ring of Honor as well to start this new promotion. And if they do, you and I are going to watch.
Oh, yes.
Because we need it. By God, we need it. All right. So that's going to do it. Let's do our plugs. Oh, well, thank you. That's perfect timing on that one. You can follow the show on Twitter at WrestlingShow11. You can join our Facebook group. It is That Wrestling Show Fan Group. Just type that in the search bar and you are right there. And if you can't find us there for any reason, just click on the link below in the description box. You are right there. Check out the website, thatwrestlingshow.com, and check out my Patreon page, patreon.com/Bill's World of Podcasts. Fro, what did you and Luke discuss this week on Another Digital Citizen?
We discussed orbs and robes in the sky and in the environment, and what is it really?
Did you guys talk about Condoleezza Rice?
No, what about her?
There was a rumor earlier this week that the Cleveland Browns were going to interview her for their head coaching job.
No, really?
I'm not kidding.
Why?
Because they need a football coach, and apparently they were thinking of Condi.
Wow.
But I believe that story ended up being a false story. But This week on Shark's Pond, I review an episode that I have been looking forward to since we first started this show, talking about the Passion of the Jew.
Good one.
Yep, that is a good one. All right, so next week, Fro may or may not be on. I'm not really sure.
We will see.
But one thing we are going to discuss next week, because next weekend starts our voting or our nominations for the 4th annual That Wrestling Awards, where you, the fans, vote in the different categories that we have, and we're going to have 2 new categories this year. 2 new categories. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is yet. Next week.
We talked about it last year.
Oh, yeah, maybe some of them don't remember. But anyway, we'll talk about that next week. Everybody have a good weekend. Have a safe rest of your Thanksgiving holiday. Don't kill each other over that Cabbage Patch doll or that N64 that you're trying to get your kids. And when you're done eating those leftovers, come back here next week for another episode of That Wrestling Show, the only podcast where all pro wrestling matters. And as always, Screw WWE.